Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Robert Daniel with Data Society. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Sandra Humbles from J&J. Well, Sandra, great speaking with you today. Thanks again for taking some time. Maybe would you be able to start with just a quick introduction on yourself and your role at J&J?
Yeah, it's so nice to be with you, Robert. And I'm Sandra Humbles. I am the first Chief Learning Officer of Johnson and Johnson, and I've had the privilege of serving my company for over 30 years in many roles in sales, marketing, strategic planning. And then my dream job was to lead the learning and development function at Johnson and Johnson.
Great, great. 30 years is really impressive, so kudos
Thank
on
you. Thank you.
that. Well, let's dive in. So, looking back on 2024, what are some of the things that you and your team accomplished that you're most proud of, Sandra?
Yeah, 2024 was just an amazing year for us at Johnson and Johnson, and particularly because we did two things. We really elevated our learning experiences for all employees, and we gained transparency for career navigation at Johnson and Johnson. So maybe I'll just roll the clock back just a little bit and say how did we get there? So first and foremost, we had to really look at our job catalog and match every single role with the relevant skills. And that was a big task of work for the team. Once we had, successfully done that, we were then able to really unlock the upskilling opportunity of all 150,000 employees at Johnson and Johnson. The next stage, as people were in our ecosystem, starting to look at their skill set, their aspirations, we were then able to unlock the whole of the career journeys. And what does that mean? So an employee would have been saying, I'm really good at this particular skill. I really enjoy this type of work. I would like to do more of it. And then our AI engines behind the scenes are looking at all of the jobs within J&J and then starting to match. So they start to see that career navigation and those different career paths to their aspiration. Once they'd selected a couple of targeted roles that they may be interested in, they can then start looking at, how well are they matched to that job and where do they need to upskill. Use an example. You may have an individual contributor who really wants to be a good people leader, and they say, you know what, I have not done enough coaching yet. So they would click on the coaching skill. There would be learning pathways and the educational component of skilling up on our model, which is grow. Once they've done that, they may be able to then go and do a small gig. And that could look like, helping to, coach some people on a particular project. And then also, if they really wanted to get deep in that skill, we can then also match them with an expert mentor. So we really unlocked the whole opportunity of learning and development for Johnson and Johnson. And because this is now a year old, we start to get the data. And I think it's something I'm most proud of, as we looked as, say, how do we measure that belief of people being able to have great careers at J&J? We look at our credo, our all employee survey, and our talent development score is over 80, which, as you know, is world class. So I would say last year was our biggest year ever to be able to really unlock the potential of career navigation linked to learning and development.
Wow. That's really impressive. So it sounds like your goal is to do personalized learning for 150,000 employees at scale. Yeah.
And that's exactly where we are, and it's something we're very proud of, because in the past you would have development for certain populations, but you couldn't do it at scale, and certainly not at global scale. And now, as I say, every single day our employees can come into our ecosystem and the learn ecosystem, and everybody has access, something that I certainly didn't have when I started at J&J.
Wow. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, speaking of AI, how do you see Gen AI influencing learning at your company in the coming years?
Yeah, the hot topic for everybody right now, and it's going to literally transform a lot of what we do within the learn function, but also across the whole enterprise. And I would say right now where we are in our journey is we're in deep discovery of the possibility, massive experimentation, and then also getting to some amazing launches. So I'll answer your question specifically for my own function. And I do think it's going to be an absolute, game changer. And therefore, for us, job number one was really upskilling our population. And Johnson and Johnson created, because obviously we're a healthcare company, we had to have our own Gen AI platform within the walls of J&J. We provided amazing opportunity for all employees to upskill in the basic fundamentals and obviously the compliance part of Gen AI, but also in prompt engineering so that everybody could then start to participate. And now everybody is practicing and looking to share their successes. But specifically for the Learn team, it obviously goes very, very deep now. And my design teams are literally bringing different AI tools into our own practice. As you know, it will support them in generating customized learning materials, writing assistance, helps them with brainstorming, outlining, proofreading, essays, providing feedback on grammar and clarity. It just speeded up that whole first part of doing a learning brief. Great progress in assessment, practice quizzes, building flashcards, simulated scenarios to test comprehension, identifying knowledge gaps, and basically acting as a virtual tutor, right? I mean, seriously amazing. And then for me now, the Gen AI platform has really created a safe space for, simulation and experimentation and questioning, and very risk-free setting to some degree now because it's inside the walls of J&J. So I don't know where this stops yet, Robert, because it's literally every day, we are doing new things, and it's just making a difference to the speed of getting things to people that really matter, our employees, and then to the patients that we serve.
That's impressive. I definitely hear a theme of like using AI for personalization, both on the career side and the learning side. So
For sure.
great. And here's a fun one. So if you could wave a magic wand and have any AI powered learning tool built tomorrow, what do you think that would be and why?
Well, Robert, my previous job to coming into this role was I was the head of medical education for Johnson and Johnson. And they were very, and I should say we were very early experimenters in this space. And I will never forget where we said, how do we help our surgeons to learn faster and learn from the world experts? And we brought machine learning to performance improvement into medical education. So can you imagine a brand new learner surgeon at a critical moment in a procedure being able to get feedback from all of the knowledge from all those expert surgeons to improve their technique? That was real about 3 years ago. It was game changing. We brought the best of the best to help the rapid upskilling of the younger generation. And again, you can see the pride that I have by just sharing that experience. Hence why I'm in this job. It was, if you can do that for our surgeons and for the patients we care for, we have to be able to do that internally. And what I shared at the beginning was very much that journey to get to complete transparency, personalized learning and development at scale for all employees. So you can see that journey. But now, where we are with AI, and I said the experimentation, can you imagine in every learning situation that you have, watching on the video or listening to the voice, listening in the classroom, and literally having that tutor giving you feedback on how you're answering the questions, how you are performing, how you are coaching real time? And I can see as our intelligence increases, there's a lot of experimentation in this space right now, but it's not where it needs to be because it hasn't got all of the knowledge into the databases yet. But once we get there, I can just imagine you're going to be just in a world of continual learning and continual improvement. And again, I can see that analogy back to the early work I did in the surgeon population.
That's an amazing example. And there's been so much talk about AI in medicine, but that's a great real world example of AI improving patient outcomes and probably saving lives. So, wow,
Exactly.
great. And here's another one. So, there's a lot of people that are concerned about AI replacing human jobs, and you have 150,000 employees. How do you see AI and humans working together in the future?
Yeah, and then maybe the simple statement is, I see AI as a way to augment rather than replace. But obviously there is a fear, right? And I can understand that. So it starts with, every employee starting to really upskill. And maybe I'll use myself as an example because again, it is going to affect, every single person. So I was one of those people who put my hand up very, very early to play with Microsoft Copilot. And obviously, the upskilling piece of making it work to your advantage takes a little time. I've probably been in the environment now nearly a year, I want to say. And here's what it has done. I am a Microsoft junkie because it's across my whole platform. Literally on a daily basis, I open up my screen and I see my workforce planner and it tells me exactly what tasks I have to do today. If I'm in a meeting, it's taking the minutes, the actions that used to take me probably an hour after every meeting. It now takes me 2 minutes. I would say when I go on vacation, literally when you come back you can search your whole your whole emails and any documents that have been shared with you, and it summarizes what matters most, and you can delete everything else. So by default, and this is the reality, and I'm going public on this, right, is I have saved over 30% of my time. Now what that has allowed me to do, number one, is I've got my home life balance in a much better place because yes, we were all stretching to be able to do the work to serve our patients, and therefore sometimes that meant you had to work longer hours. I've got my life back in order because AI is helping me to do some of that administration work. The next piece it's also allowed me to do is have more strategic thinking time and more of that innovation time, more of that forward thinking. And it's also allowed me to do things like this, spend time sharing the story and also inspiring other people to go on that journey. Now, with what we have done at Johnson and Johnson and being able to, and I'm going to say it, skills inventory, employee base, as work changes, we've now set ourselves up with an amazing opportunity to say these people have this foundational skill. The work may have shifted, and we have this new work coming up here. It gets a lot easier for workforce agility and moving people into new roles because at the end of the day, our job is around innovation, science, and getting products to market. The work will always need that human element, but it may be people have got to be a little bit more agile in the jobs they do. And as we all know, that flexible workforce is amazing because people feel like they're adding so much value to the mission of the company and to job satisfaction.
Wow. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation, Sandra, and thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to share with the CDO Magazine listeners?
Yeah, I would just say all of us are working through the digital transformation of our lives, and having the environments to help people to learn and grow, that is the most important thing and the gift that we can give everybody. It's, you can't think the skill you had yesterday is going to be the skill you need for tomorrow, and just become that curious learner in everything you do.
Amazing. Thank you, Sandra. Such a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you so much.